Jude Bellingham isn't guaranteed to start for England at the World Cup 2026. Let that sink in for a moment. The golden boy of English football, the kid who lit up the Bernabeu in his debut season, the player many assumed would be the first name on the team sheet, is suddenly fighting for his place. Thomas Tuchel has drawn a line in the sand, and nobody, not even Bellingham, is safe from his ruthless approach to selection. The unthinkable scenario of England's most exciting talent watching the opening match from the bench is no longer just tabloid speculation. It's a genuine possibility that has sent shockwaves through the football world. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Game Jam to stay locked in for all the latest World Cup 2026 coverage, transfer news, and tactical breakdowns you won't find anywhere else. Tuchel did not mince his words when asked about guaranteed starters in his England squad. In a press conference that felt more like a declaration of war than a friendly chat, the German made it crystal clear that reputation counts for nothing under his management. "Nobody's place is safe," he said, staring down the cameras with that familiar intensity. This is not Gareth Southgate's England anymore, where certain names were penciled in, regardless of form or fitness. Tuchel has brought a ruthlessness that English football has not seen in decades. It is psychological warfare at its finest, keeping every player on edge, desperate to prove themselves worthy. For Bellingham, who perhaps grew comfortable with his status as an automatic pick, this represents a massive wake-up call. The days of building teams around star names are over. Performance is the only currency Tuchel deals in. The man threatening Bellingham's place isn't some veteran midfielder with years of international experience. It's Morgan Rogers, a name that would have made most casual fans reach for Google just months ago. Rogers' journey from Aston Villa's breakthrough star to genuine World Cup contention reads like something from a football fairy tale. But Tuchel doesn't deal in sentiment. He sees something in Rogers that clearly excites him, a tactical flexibility and hunger that Bellingham's game currently lacks. The stats tell a compelling story too. While Bellingham has struggled for consistency this season, Rogers has been quietly accumulating goals and assists at a rate that demands attention. He presses relentlessly, drops deep to collect the ball, then bursts forward with a directness that Tuchel's system craves. This isn't just about one player being better than another. It's about Rogers offering solutions to tactical problems that Bellingham's presence sometimes creates. The new generation isn't waiting politely for their turn anymore. They're kicking down the door. England's recent friendly against New Zealand should have been a comfortable victory parade. Instead, it turned into an uncomfortable reality check that exposed cracks nobody wanted to acknowledge. A narrow 1-0 win against opposition ranked outside the top 50 in the world hardly screams tournament favourites. The player ratings from that match painted a revealing picture of who is actually delivering under pressure and who is coasting on reputation. Certain performances caught Tuchel's eye for all the right reasons, while others confirmed his suspicions about passengers in the squad. The midfield creativity that England desperately needs looked worryingly absent for large stretches. Passes went astray, movements lacked synchronization, and the fluidity that great teams possess simply was not there. For Bellingham specifically, it was another 90 minutes that raised more questions than answers. That New Zealand match shifted the entire conversation about guaranteed starters. Suddenly, the debate was not whether fringe players deserved opportunities, but whether established names had done enough to keep their places. Bellingham's second season at Real Madrid has not gone according to script. After that explosive debut campaign where he scored goals for fun and looked destined for the Ballon d'Or, reality has come crashing down. The goals have dried up, his influence on games has diminished, and whispers about his best position have grown louder. Is he truly a number 10, or was that incredible first season a product of specific circumstances that cannot be replicated? The pressure of that massive transfer fee and sky-high expectations weighs heavy on young shoulders. Madrid fans, never the most patient bunch, have started questioning whether he is worth the hype. Tactically, there are genuine questions about whether Bellingham fits naturally into Tuchel's system, or whether the manager would need to compromise his vision to accommodate him. His confidence looks shot in some matches, and that swagger that made him special seems buried under the weight of expectation. Walking into a World Cup carrying this kind of form and doubt is dangerous territory for any player, let alone one whose starting spot is under threat. England's squad presents Tuchel with a fascinating mix of personalities and backgrounds that previous managers struggled to harness. You've got street footballers who learned their trade on concrete pitches alongside academy graduates who've been wrapped in cotton wool since age 6. European superstars earning millions per week train next to championship players still proving themselves at the highest level. The revelation that one squad member holds 7 A-grade GCSE qualifications or better sparked genuine surprise, highlighting how this group defies simple categorization. Some bring book smarts and tactical intelligence, others offer raw instinct and fearlessness that can't be taught. This diversity in backgrounds creates different mentalities about what wearing the England shirt means. For some, it's the pinnacle they've dreamed about since childhood. For others, it's another step in an already glittering career. Tuchel's job involves melding these contrasting elements into something cohesive, and that depth makes selection both a blessing and a nightmare. Having options is wonderful until you have to break hearts by leaving quality players at home. Tuchel's preferred tactical system doesn't automatically accommodate a traditional number 10, which creates immediate problems for Bellingham's chances. Modern football has evolved away from luxury playmakers who don't contribute defensively, and Tuchel's teams have always demanded work rate alongside creativity. Rodgers fits that profile more naturally, offering energy and directness that suits a high-pressing approach. Bellingham's game requires freedom to roam, to pick up positions between the lines, to arrive late in the box, but that freedom can disrupt team shape if not managed perfectly. The ruthless truth is that international tournaments get won by cohesive systems, not individual brilliance. If Tuchel decides Rodgers gives England better balance, better defensive stability, better transitions from defence to attack, then sentiment goes out the window. There are alternative positions where Bellingham could play, perhaps deeper in midfield or even wide, but those solutions create their own complications. Moving pieces to accommodate one player often weakens other areas. This is the chess match happening behind closed doors, calculations about risk versus reward, reputation versus performance, potential versus current form. The ghost of 1966 haunts every decision England makes at major tournaments. 60 years without lifting the World Cup creates a pressure that's hard for outsiders to comprehend. This generation carries the accumulated disappointment of their predecessors, the weight of expectation from a football-mad nation that believes success is their birthright. Previous tournaments have seen star players crumble under that burden, big names producing performances that wouldn't look out of place in a Sunday league match. Tuchel might prioritize current form over reputation precisely because history shows that talent alone guarantees nothing. There's a growing sense within English football that this represents their best chance in decades. The squad depth is unprecedented, the pathway to the final looks navigable, and they have a world-class manager who's won everything at club level. But with opportunity comes pressure, and with pressure comes the temptation to stick with what's familiar rather than taking brave decisions. Dropping Bellingham would be the ultimate statement of intent, a declaration that this time is different, that England are finally prioritizing winning over protecting egos. The remaining warm-up fixtures represent final opportunities for positions to be won and lost before Tuchel names his final squad. Training sessions suddenly carry added weight, when every pass, every tackle, every moment of quality or sloppiness gets analysed for what it reveals about mental state. The World Cup kicks off next month, which means decisions need to be made soon about who is travelling and who is staying home. Other position battles are heating up across the squad, defenders fighting for starting spots, strikers competing for limited places, goalkeepers knowing one mistake could cost them the tournament. For Bellingham specifically, the question is whether he has the mentality to respond to this challenge, or whether the pressure will expose fragilities in his character. Some players thrive when their status gets questioned, using doubt as fuel to reach new levels. Others crumble, overthinking everything, paralyzed by the fear of failure. The prediction nobody wants to make, but everyone is thinking, is whether Tuchel is genuinely brave enough to drop Bellingham for the opening match. Would he risk the backlash from media and fans who worship the ground Bellingham walks on? Or does he recognize that sometimes the biggest names need the biggest wake-up calls? This is the brutal reality of international football distilled into one selection dilemma. Your reputation, your transfer fee, your highlight reels mean absolutely nothing when a manager decides you are not in his best 11. Bellingham's fight for his starting spot symbolizes England's shift from protecting egos and managing personalities to embracing a ruthless winning mentality that prioritizes results above everything else. The question dominating every conversation in pubs and on social media is whether Tuchel has the courage to make the call that previous England managers would not dare make. Perhaps dropping Bellingham, or at least making him genuinely fight for his place, represents exactly the kind of wake-up call this squad needs. Comfortable players rarely produce their best football. Desperate, hungry, doubted players often exceed every expectation. This battle will define not just Bellingham's tournament, but potentially England's entire World Cup campaign. Sometimes the most important decisions happen before a ball is even kicked, and this might be one of those moments that gets analysed for years, depending on how it plays out.